First of all, it's extremely bad optics when you promise repeatedly to your voters that you're going to deliver files, and then you just announce willy-nilly that there's nothing there and we're not going to give them to you. At minimum, that's extremely amateurish PR by this White House. But more importantly, this topic held enormous import for maybe not for MAGA voters, but for MAGA influencers.
Good point.
And so, for that reason alone, it is going to live on and on and on. I'm with you, Chris. I don't particularly see this issue as being of as grave importance as other things like the continuing wars in the Middle East and in Ukraine and Russiagate and some other things. But it has huge symbolic importance, and for that reason, it's not going to go away. Well, I think this is the critical issue for the Trump White House. It's the test case as to whether or not they actually have some independence and there's some daylight between them and every regime that's come before them that's been beholden to the Pentagon, to the intelligence community. They, as opposed to the Epstein issue, which they did not really campaign on, they did campaign on this issue. And this is an incredibly important moment. We were all kind of led to believe that if there was not progress, that the United States was going to walk
away. Yeah.
Away from Ukraine. They have not done that. And if this is continuity with the Biden policies, which were so heavily criticized, well, then what was the point of all of this? And that, as opposed to the Epstein issue, which I think is largely symbolic, this is an incredibly real, incredibly dangerous issue that, if there is not movement on soon, is going to become a real political problem for Donald Trump.
And it will be. Plus, there was a promise that the war was going to end. Now, we all know the truth. We all know the horrific truth of it all. The nightmare, the sadness, the pain, and that is, there's no way Trump's going to end it. There's money to be made, baby. Blood money, war money. You think all those trillions of dollars, like what? We're just going to stop? No, come on. Now, don't worry, Sean Penn. You're not going to get your Academy Award anytime soon. Your Oscar back from Zelensky. I think it's already been pawned off. Can't believe he did that. Gave your Oscar to Zelensky. Like, come on. Come on. Does the Oscar even mean anything anymore? The only Oscar I care about is Oscar the Grouch and whether or not he's going to help his boy Elmo recover, okay? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. But there's also more than that, okay? It's just the fact that our leaders, Democrat and Republican, Biden and now Trump, have put so much money into this war that we can't get out of it.
I've been hearing from Ukrainians for 4 years now. Oh, just give us more. Just give us more. We're going to expel the problem with this war is that Russia is a gigantic country and Ukraine is a relatively small country. The Russians can keep sending people to fight into the front lines, whereas the Ukrainians are running out of people. They're expanding the age of the people who go, the people with sicknesses and disabilities. They're not very well trained. They get dragged off the street. They don't want to go. They're fleeing. They're deserting because they know they're being used as cannon fodder. Russia, Europe, and the United States have been drowning Ukraine in billions and billions and billions of dollars of weapons into the fourth year now. And Russia continues to expand how much of Ukraine it controls. It has 23%, and the front line continues to move not toward the east back to Russia, but toward the west as they take more and more cities, more and more strategic territory. And huge numbers of people are dying. This is what President Trump was saying. The idea that if we just pour some more weapons, at some point the Ukrainians are going to be able to vanquish Russia is a complete pipe dream, no matter how much people wish that were true. And at the same time, we're going more into debt, the United States is, and depleting our own stockpiles, feeding Israel, feeding Ukraine, all these foreign countries in their wars. And the United States can't really afford to do that any longer. That was the promise of the Trump movement, was we're going to focus on our own people instead.
Okay, Kira,
this is part of the reason
hang on, Kira.
Now look, I mean, so much treasury has been spent on this, and before, and if we just take a step back, if we take a step back and we look at the words of this administration, I mean, right here, right now, this right here has me a little bit concerned. it has me concerned because Russia launches massive attacks and Trump backtracks from suggesting Ukraine should target Moscow. Say it with me, folks, for the people in back who are ever so frightened. What could possibly go wrong?
This morning, as Ukrainian firefighters battle the aftermath of another Russian airstrike, President Trump says he hasn't spoken with President Putin.
He says he wants peace. He does. So far, it's all talk and no action.
Since setting his 50-day deadline, aiming to force the Russian leader to compromise.
A lot of opinions change very rapidly. Might not be 50 days, might be much sooner than 50 days.
He says Patriot air defenses, new weapons for Ukraine, are on their way.
They're coming in from Germany. The United States gets paid back in full.
While the president insisting Ukraine must not target Russia's capital if it gets long-range missiles. After the Financial Times reported, citing two sources, he asked President Zelensky, "Can you hit Moscow?" The White House...
Even Biden wouldn't be that senile. Even the auto pen wouldn't be that senile. My God, nobody was that senile. Are we really being serious here for a second? Makes no sense.
Saying President Trump was merely raising a question, not encouraging further killing. Outside the Kremlin, Russians responding with defiance. Does it scare you?
No.
Why not?
Why it should scare me?
We used to say that Trump and Putin had like kind of a friendship, but now clearly I think they don't.
One Russian we met, a student in Moscow, admitted to some apprehension.
And I actually seen the drones one time, and this long-range missiles step is, I think, yeah, it's alarming.
Those Ukrainian...
Biden, come on, leave Elmo alone, man. He's having a major crash out. Elmo says everyone to have iodine tablets for nuclear winter. Hey, look, don't worry. World War III is around the horizon. Someday it'll drop, and I'm going to be like, oh, here we go.
Drones continue to hit Russia this week, but Ukraine has been bombarded by Putin's forces. In the past few hours, the Russian leader's spokesman telling state media the Kremlin notes President Trump's statements expressing disappointment, whilst hoping Trump will put pressure on the Ukrainian side too. Back in Moscow, we found Russians hoping for an end to the war.
I believe in peace between Russia and America.
But for now, their voices are fading. And as we speak, Craig, President Putin is on a trip east of Moscow here, visiting factories. That would give him the opportunity to respond to President Trump in public if he chooses. But as we know all too well, Craig, Putin is not a man who easily yields to pressure. Craig?
Our Chief International Correspondent Keir Simmons for us there in Moscow. Keir, thank you.
I'm going to pull this back up here now.
You've got a minute to respond, okay? But I want to give you just a chance to have a final word on what Glenn said.
This is simply not true regarding like where Ukraine stands. I want to remind you that when the full-scale invasion started, nobody believed, for the same reason that you mentioned, that we would stand for a couple of days. And then you see us fighting, and we were able to regain some of our territories exactly at the time when we had some of the weapon support. And we still believe that we can take our territories back because we are fighting for our own land. But I want to bring a very important point. Does anybody think that if there is an attempt to pressure Ukraine for peace or something, that Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran will magically forfeit their idea of arming themselves, working together, manufacturing weapons, exchanging technologies, and threaten the democratic world? No, that will not happen. And you will just see yet another precedent of appeasement of the dictatorship. We are here in Ukraine. We did not capitulate in 2022. We do not intend to capitulate right now. And what we are asking for is to give us the means to fight with. And this is why here on the ground, I haven't heard like any single person who would ever say, oh, we are ready to forfeit, we are ready to step down. Everybody is still very motivated to fight back and to protect our land, protect our freedom. This is why we are hopeful that President Trump can make America great again, because this fact actually means.
Don't worry, Biden was giving you guys money too. I mean, there you go, bipartisanship. But also, I'm gonna pull up this video here.
This is the difference. Most importantly, I do not want to criticize anyone. I am grateful to America for all the help during this war. America has supported us, and I have always said, we are grateful to the White House, grateful for the bipartisan support. It was there, and I am very grateful that it continues. But President Biden was not able to end this war. I am confident that President Trump can do it.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. A little bit more.
A lot has changed this month. We had 3 dialogues with President Trump. Each one was better than the last. We had a great meeting at the NATO summit, and we had 2 phone conversations. There were several very positive decisions on the defense of Ukraine, the defense of Europe, and on security in general. President Trump realizes that Putin is lying to him, and it is important that President Trump sees this for himself. Not what he hears from someone else, but what he sees with his own eyes. We have supported all the US initiatives on the ceasefire. I supported all of President Trump's initiatives, and he saw the reality. Putin just says one thing, and then bombs. He does not want the war to end. A lot has changed this month. We had 3 dialogues with President Trump. Each one was better than the last. We had a great meeting at the NATO summit, and we had 2 phone conversations. There were several very positive decisions.
All right. So what to take away from this? What can we take away from this? Well, all of our treasury is still going to war. I mean, everyone keeps on saying that, hey, guess what? Don't worry about it. We got these forever wars. What could go wrong with a forever war? And then, of course, you have Trump suggesting, hey, can you hit Moscow? There's so much I still want to do with my life, you know? I mean, I don't know if I'll make it to old age or not. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. There's a lot of BS that's coming my way. It's always so much fun. Right? But I will say this. Promises were made. Now, if you're a Trump supporter and you're angry at Trump, you're dropping the Trump banner. Guess what? Still hold on to your beliefs. It's okay. But Trump is not the guy that's going to fight for it. He's not going to do a ceasefire. He's not going to release the Epstein files. He's not going to do any kind of ceasefire in Ukraine. I mean, it's not going to happen. We need to stop putting hope into these politicians and realize that these bastards do not give a damn about us. They never did, they never shall, and they never will. And the sooner we come to terms with that, the better. Because look, you have a president now saying, hey, can you hit Moscow? Even Biden would say something that stupid. All right, that's saying a lot right there. So shout out to Matt Taibbi, shout out to Glenn Greenwald, shout out to everyone that's been consistent. These wars got to end because who's being hurt? It's the people.